What's going on, guys? It is Sniperpigeon again with some gameplay of Ghost Recon Wildlands. And what we're doing today on this nice pretty mountaintop up here with my team, and we're all creeping as you can tell. Certified creep over here, Mr. Colt. You're doing a good job, Mr. Holt, not Colt. Alright, what we're doing is doing a little bit of sniping, just practicing some long-range shooting. So I figured I'd make a video of it on just some basic tips on how to do it. So, alright, as you can see here, I've got a helicopter and I just went to this very top area. If you know how to read the map, these squiggly lines on the outside here, as they get smaller and smaller and make like smaller circles, that's basically a peak or a mountaintop. So I seen that just basic land navigation, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, there's a really high point, so I'm gonna mark that and I'm gonna go there. Grabbed a helicopter, did so, seen there was an outpost nearby, which is perfect. So the idea was that I was going to be up here, and I figured this is about 500 meters or so out. So getting a little glance when I zoom in at it, and I was going to mark some targets with the binoculars if I could, given the distance. And if not, I was going to show a little tip and trick on that, just doing this single player, because when you do a multiplayer, it's a little bit easier. Or a lot easier, actually, not even a little bit. So you get your binoculars out. This is no zoom. Of course, you want binoc zoom to be as high as possible when you start doing some long-range sniping. And as you can see on the bottom portion of the screen, it says how far the distance is, 400 to 500 meters right now, as I'm just going around. And you just want to put that little circle on something. Like, for example, I'm going to pick, we're going to pick this car right here, this little purplish, whatever, gray SUV thing. It's 515 meters for the engine block or the front hood area. And then you're also going to want to pay attention to some stats on your sniper rifle. So I have all the snipers, I believe. Nope, I'm missing one. Okay, I have all but one sniper, and of course you want to use the one with the best range and accuracy. The higher the accuracy and the range, the more flat your bullet shoots, so you won't have to mess with the scoping as much. As you see the scope, they have these little like mil-radian type tick marks, and mil-radian is just unit of measurement. So anyways, there's these little tick marks underneath of the center crosshair where your bullet would normally go if you're doing close-up shooting. And if, say, I wanted to shoot this van, I have to aim up for a bullet drop. So over distance, the bullet drops with gravity and things like that. So as we just said, with the binoculars, this is 515 meters. The van's not moving. So see, if I had it center mass on the engine block with my crosshair and I pull the trigger, I'm like, I don't know, probably 10 feet below it if I was up close and bullet, in distance-wise. So I'm going to try to compensate for that and then put the crosshair right on it, right above that top left corner of that windshield, and then pull the trigger again. Still a hair low, so you're going to want to compensate that a little bit more. And perfect, see? And that's how you know it's like, all right, great. So that's 515 meters, on that first tick mark roughly, right beneath it. So if that's going to end up blowing up the car behind it and the car behind that. So at 538 meters that this car is in the rear, I can assume the same thing. So that's only like a 10-15 meter difference, so I'm just going to go with that first tick mark, pull the trigger, and boom, it blew up. So now I know that one tick mark down from my current position is roughly 515 to 540 meters. So doing the same thing at troops that are a little bit farther out, I already marked this minigun turret right here, a rotary machine gun. And it's 550 meters. So if there was a gunner on it, I would know that same thing, that tick mark, that one tick mark right below the orange crosshair would hit who's on the gun. And of course, there's somebody who's kind of hiding in that building right there because I already tried doing this before starting the video. So they know that I can shoot them from here. So I think they're terrified. So doing the same thing to another thing that's a little bit closer. So okay, here we go. This is 400 meters for this truck in the rear. So if I was to do the same thing, I'm going to have to crouch for this, I can't go that low, and then go one tick mark below, I'd actually shoot in front of it because it is closer, so my crosshair actually would have to be more dead on. So I could aim in the halfway mark between the orange crosshair and the first line underneath, pull the trigger. It would hit it at that point and of course kill the civilian inside, which I'm surprised it didn't say civilian killed. So that's the concept. And of course, the higher you are from your target, the less compensation for bullet drop you're going to have to do, which is why snipers in real life and in video games tend to want to go to high ground. That you get more visual, you can see a lot more stuff going on around you. and less bullet drop compensation. So that's one of the big tips there. And again, with the focusing on your weapon stats, which goes into never switch your sniper rifle mid-game unless you're going to stick with it. You don't want to bounce between a bunch of different sniper rifles if you're going to be doing long-range shooting. You want to keep the same or very, very similar stats. So you can see the HTI here versus the Desert Tech HTI. Desert Tech has more accuracy, and then that is the only stat that I really care about when it comes to long-range shooting is the accuracy and the range. So the range doesn't change, just the accuracy improves by picking the Desert Tech. So I would, of course, pick this just to make it a little bit more flatter shooting. Versus something like this HTI, like I said, it's going to look exactly the same. It's going to feel exactly the same. But that accuracy difference actually makes a pretty big difference. I shot 3 times and I only hit it on the 3rd, just guesstimating, for this truck, which is 576 meters out. So that's just a quick tidbit on how to do some long-range shooting. Of course, also, another really helpful tip before I forget, marking targets, which I'm going to end up ending this video here temporarily, and I'm going to pick this up in a different area so I can show you different marked targets at different distances. There's a limit on the targets that you can mark on how far they are. Let's see if I can get something going for it. If I look at the map, let's see, there's a gas station and a checkpoint. I'm going to mark this checkpoint, and I'm going to get a little bit closer than a kilometer. And I'm going to try to binocular some targets. You can see that at a certain distance, you just can't binocular anymore. You can't do it anymore. They're just too far away, which is why you got to get so close to it. And I'm surprised I didn't break my legs. I would have in real life on that. But anyways. And you can also apply the same thing to helicopters, as you can see. If you aim in front of it. Oh, okay. Kilometer out. You can see the 829. Yep, okay. I'm going to get the other HDI out since this is the one I like more, since I said already, you know, you got to practice what you preach. And not switch rifles midway. So looking through here, it doesn't even render people, if there is anybody that's supposed to be outside right now, at 664 meters. So, I'm going to get a little bit closer, going to get onto this rock right here, and then try the exact same thing. Just a high air under 600 meters now. Again, I am not seeing anybody moving. If anybody's outside, I do see a bike there. I can start to make out some little figures closer. I believe it's actually 500 meters is the distance that they limit you on for binoculars, which is still very far, especially if you're primarily going to be using an assault rifle or a submachine gun. Okay, there is a person over there, but it's not marking them, so it might be a civilian. There we go. Now it's starting to render some stuff as I'm getting much closer to. So okay, there we go. See? 270 meters, and it didn't mark that guy with the binoculars. And I'm almost 500 meters out. So, see if I get this. You can still see the orange dot, and I am 520 meters. I'm going to keep running back to increase this distance. I'm going to see if I can get on this rock and see how far that is, and see if the target is still there. This, of course, will depend some on your graphic settings as well, which you want to max out, again, for this. So, if you have a decent build. Alright, cool. So, it's a little over 600 meters. I can still see the target. I'm still higher than the target, so that's less bullet drop compensation like we established a few minutes ago. And you can still hit them fairly easily. He's not behind cover or nothing. But of course at this distance, if you miss, they will still run into hiding, which makes it damn near impossible to get them unless you have very high penetration. Then you can shoot through a barricade, which is another reason why I like using this HDI Desert Tech. So I'm going to run back to this rock right here. We're going to try the same thing again. See if I can see him at just under 700 meters. I cannot. See, he was right here. So it's what we're going to do. We're going to get down the sight. We're going to run a little bit. See if he is still marked. Nope, nothing yet. Nothing yet. And this is where playing in multiplayer actually has some advantages to it, is if you had a teammate that was, say, out in one of these, or just in this area, within 200 meters of it, they could binocular somebody and they would keep that dot on much longer when you're much farther away, and you'd be able to just shoot at that orange dot that's right above their head and assume, you know, they're a tiny bit below it, and you'd be able to get a shot that's past 600 meters, no problem. And another way you can get some nice long-range kills if you want to increase your score, somebody that is next to a car or park a car next to somebody, that's a bad guy. And then shoot at the vehicle and blow it up. That's a very good tip as well. So we're going to try this one more time. I'm going to run up. I'm going to mark the guy. I'm going to get to about 600 meters out because I think that was about the cutoff point. I'm going to see if I can get him within about 2 shots.
Just spotted one with submachine guns.
Okay. Well, he's 400 about right now, so let me see if I can get back a little bit farther. Keep him marked. Hopefully he's not going to move around too much. And of course, your stats or your perks in the game. Okay, we're roughly at 500. He is going to move around too. That's going to be a pain in the butt. Okay, he's exactly 500 meters out. You're going to want to lay prone while you do it as naturally or as low as possible without having too much impeding your vision. Okay, I'm going to move a little bit over here to get out of the way of that pole, get a little farther back. Yeah, so move away from this grass. And again, as we did before, this rebel's going to freaking piss me off. As we did before, we're going to have to, okay, stop moving, dude, stop moving. Well, higher up, we're going to have to do, I think it was roughly 500 meters before for that first tick mark. So you're going to put that first tick mark roughly center mass, pull the triggers. And see, there you go. And just off of that, first shot, just over 500 meters, got a kill. Just because you know the sniper rifle, you get higher ground, so it's less bullet drop compensation. So less work you're going to have to think about, and you kept the target marked. And again, playing multiplayer, you don't even have to worry about the keeping the target marked so much as long as you have a teammate who's able to help you out with that. So that's definitely recommended if you're trying to get that one awesome, 1,000-meter shot or that kilometer shot to be able to brag to your friends and say that, you can shoot like a mile or something crazy. So that's it for this video, guys. That's some quick sniper tips on long-range shooting. Suppressors don't really matter in this at all when it comes to it. Again, your damage really doesn't matter. It's just if you hit anybody with any sniper, they're pretty much going to die in this game, no matter what difficulty it's on. And always aim center mass, aim for about the belly button, the chest area. So, and alright, so leave this video a like if you liked it, because I know you did. Subscribe to see more content like this, especially in Ghost Recon Wildlands or other games that are similar. I also have some real sniper built style rifles in real life I'm going to do some videos on later on as well, because it is a passion of mine aside from gaming. And I will see you guys in the